Real change is unsettling, not only for you, but for those around you. The moment you begin to think differently, to question what you once accepted, people often react with unease. They may laugh it off with jokes, offer advice disguised as concern, or fall silent when you speak with depth. Beneath the surface, however, lies a simple truth. Your growth threatens their comfort. By challenging your own complacency, you inadvertently force others to confront theirs. This discomfort is not a flaw in the process. It is the price of forging a strong mind. True strength unsettles. It reveals, without words, the fragility of those who live on autopilot. A mind that refuses manipulation, that dares to think independently, becomes dangerous. Dangerous not only to the systems built on conformity, but also to the weaker version of yourself that once sought safety in illusions. The power, hidden in chaos, Friedrich Nietzsche understood this tension deeply. To him, transformation does not occur in comfort but in chaos. He famously wrote, "You need to have a chaos inside you to give birth to a dancing star." Far from a poetic flourish, this was his diagnosis of human growth. Pain, failure, and crisis are not mistakes of existence. They are catalysts. Think back to the moments you grew most. Was it when life was easy? Or when everything fell apart and you had to rebuild yourself piece by piece? Nietzsche believed that suffering is the forge where strength is born. To flee from it is to remain weak. To face it is to cultivate an indomitable spirit. Strength is not smiling through adversity or suppressing pain. It is enduring the unbearable and emerging sharper, more dangerous, more alive. Yet chaos alone is not enough. Without an anchor, it can destroy you. Nietzsche's solution was radical, the rejection of external authorities, the death of God. What he killed was not divinity itself, but the illusion of a preordained plan. With that death, all excuses vanish. No one else carries the burden of your life. Meaning is no longer given, it must be created. Radical freedom and its weight. The realization that there is no higher plan terrifies most. It is easier to believe in a script, in a cosmic justification for pain, than to face the abyss of freedom. But for those who dare, this moment is the true beginning of mental strength. Nietzsche insisted that with the collapse of divine authority comes radical autonomy. You are no longer a follower, you are a creator. This autonomy is both weight and gift. Everything now depends on you. There is no external salvation, no absolution, no easy path back to comfort. But the same freedom that frightens also empowers. When you understand that no one is coming to save you, you awaken to your own potential. You rise, even while wounded, and begin to live according to values you yourself have forged. The birth of the Übermensch. This process culminates in Nietzsche's vision of the Übermensch, the overman. Not a mythical hero, but a human who has transcended the chains of obedience, guilt, and herd morality. The Übermensch asks not, "Is this allowed?" but rather, "Is this worthy of me?" Such a being does not seek approval or acceptance. They live according to inner laws, guided by a will to power, the drive to shape reality rather than submit to it. Their strength is terrifying because it is self-sufficient. They do not need applause. They do not ask for permission to exist. They impose meaning onto the world instead of waiting for it to be handed down. But this path requires sacrifice. You must sever the parts of yourself that crave validation. You must withstand isolation, rejection, and misunderstanding. Nietzsche himself lived as an outcast, dismissed as eccentric, often alone. Yet in that solitude he found liberation. To walk this path is to accept loneliness as the price of self-possession. The solitude of the strong. The deeper you advance, the more distant you become from the herd. Society does not know how to handle those who refuse to bend. Nietzsche warned that the individual must struggle not to be swallowed by the tribe, even if it means feeling lonely or afraid. But the reward is priceless, possession of yourself. True freedom demands solitude. When you are no longer tethered to others' approval, You discover who you are without masks. Yet this solitude also brings confrontation with mediocrity. Collective mediocrity despises individual brilliance because it exposes the dullness of conformity. Nietzsche called this slave morality, a system built by the weak to condemn the strong, labeling independence as arrogance and ambition as selfishness. Thus, when you rise, you disturb others not because you are wrong, but because you are rare. Mediocrity reacts with subtle attacks, irony, silence, exclusion, pressuring you to shrink back into the group. To endure this is part of the test. To continue forward despite it is to grow unbreakable. The price and the reward, becoming unshakable, comes with loss. You will lose shallow friendships, opportunities that demand submission, and the ability to be content with little. But you gain integrity, clarity, and presence. You awaken to the reality that most lie asleep. Your strength unsettles because it reflects what others fear to confront. This strength is not gifted by the world. It is carved in solitude, through nights of inner conflict, through choices made without applause. It is the ongoing battle between who you were and who you are becoming. Nietzsche did not seek followers but provocateurs, individuals strong enough to awaken themselves and, in doing so, to disturb the complacency of others. The path is lonely, painful, and often misunderstood. But it is also the only path that leads to a mind unbreakable, a spirit free, and a life lived on your own terms. To walk it is to accept the fear that comes with freedom. To stay on it is to embrace the solitude that comes with self-possession. And to finish it is to become what Nietzsche envisioned, a being so rare that simply existing compels the world to confront its own mediocrity.